It's a difficult reality to face, but sometimes the people we thought would be by our side forever become a source of harm instead. Whether it's a friend, partner, or family member, recognizing the signs of a toxic relationship in your later years can feel like walking through a storm with no clear way out. But here's the truth. It's never too late to reclaim your peace. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, you've already experienced enough life to know that time is your most precious commodity. Now more than ever, your emotional health must come first. But how do you know when it's time to say goodbye? Today, I'll walk you through the unmistakable signs that tell you it's time to end a toxic relationship in your old age. Each one is a signal, sometimes subtle, sometimes blinding, that your well-being matters more than holding on to something that's breaking you. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only feel empowered to make the right decision for yourself, but also understand the urgency of acting now. Let's start with one of the clearest signs. You feel emotionally exhausted every time you interact with this person. You might even catch yourself sighing in relief. The moment the conversation is over, that's not just weariness from a long chat. It's your body signaling that this relationship is draining you. Emotional fatigue in your later years isn't just about feeling tired. It's about robbing you of energy that could be spent on things you love. Imagine feeling this way for the next 5 or 10 years. Can you afford to? When was the last time this person made you feel uplifted, or are they more like a vacuum, sucking the life out of you at every chance? If the emotional toll is heavy and you're left feeling more hollow than whole, it's time to listen to your gut. Another sign: when your feelings, your needs, are consistently dismissed or minimized. At your age, you've earned the right to be heard and respected. You shouldn't feel as if you're constantly walking on eggshells or afraid to speak up. Perhaps every time you voice a concern, they wave it off with a "you're overreacting" or "it's not that big of a deal." But it is a big deal, because your feelings are valid. What if, years from now, this pattern continues? What happens to your self-worth when it's constantly being chipped away? This is the moment you ask yourself, is this what I deserve? You know the answer. You've lived long enough to know when someone is intentionally undermining your emotions. Do you find that you're seeing your friends and family less? Sometimes toxic people subtly, or not so subtly, push us away from our support networks. You may have noticed that gatherings with friends have become more infrequent, or you're making excuses not to reach out. Isolation is their tool to keep control, and it works until you see through it. But here's a question: how often do you miss out on events because of them? It's easy to lose sight of this, especially if you've been in the relationship for a long time. They might frame it as "I need you," or "we spend so much time together because we're close." But the truth is, they're isolating you, and when you're alone, they have more power. What will happen if you continue down this road? How many more connections will fade away before you realize it's gone too far? One of the most obvious, yet hardest signs to confront is physical or verbal abuse. You might think, "But they haven't hit me, it's not that bad." But let's not confuse abuse with love. Abuse can be loud or quiet, direct or hidden, but in every case, it's harmful. Even constant criticism, mocking or threats are forms of verbal abuse designed to keep you small. At this stage in life, protecting yourself isn't just a matter of emotional survival, it's about your physical well-being. What will happen if you stay and the abuse continues or escalates? What could happen if you finally take a stand for yourself? The answer might surprise you. Here's something I want you to think about. When was the last time you felt confident in yourself, not for who you could be, but for who you are right now? Toxic relationships erode your self-esteem. Slowly, it's like water dripping on stone. Small at first, but over time, it wears you down. You start to question everything. Am I good enough? Did I do something wrong? And before you know it, you're wondering whether your morning coffee was brewed the right way. Trust me, it's not about the coffee. But here's the thing. If you're constantly questioning your value, it's time to step back. The years ahead should be spent in peace, not doubt. Finally, guilt. If they make you feel guilty for wanting something better for yourself, be it space, respect, or simply happiness, then that's a manipulation tactic you can't ignore. They might say, after all these years, you're just going to leave, or, but we've been through so much together. But ask yourself, does the length of time really justify staying in pain? The longer you stay, the deeper. The guilt might grow. But what if, instead, you found the courage to break free? These signs aren't just warnings, they're opportunities. Opportunities to reclaim your peace, your health, and your happiness. Don't let the fear of the unknown keep you locked in a cycle of hurt. Now that you've recognized these signs, what will you do with this knowledge? Time is precious, and the choice is yours. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you of something important. Growth doesn't stop, even as we age. If you're ready to focus on building a better future for yourself, I have a video right here about the power of compounding. It's a powerful way to shift your energy into something positive and watch it multiply.